Since we have discussed about the programming language, why it is important to understand this language, where are its implications, and in present day world, in which specific domain it is being used. So now we come to the formal introduction of our programming language. That the C programming language was created in AT&T Bell Laboratory. This is one of the best laboratory for any computer scientist or mathematician who is in system research to work with or electronics area, because they have some very high end research and development has been attributed to this lab. So Dennis Ritchie, one scientist there, developed this programming language for Unix operating system. So, and initially it was a very simple programming language, and on the basis of this programming language, Dennis Ritchie wrote one book that is called ANSI Standard C. So that is a very typical book, although it is a difficult book to understand initially. So that's why people do not prefer this book. They prefer a very smaller, or you can say very descriptive version of this book written by some prominent authors in India. So initially it had 27 keywords, and I will discuss about what are the keywords. And then it was the original version of the C, and it was easy to build a compiler for. So that was developed, and later on the American National Standard Institute standardized this language and provided some more keywords. And over a period of time, it was standardized, and everywhere in the world, whenever it was used, so it was the ANSI C standard of the programming language which was being used. So why to use C? Why is it important to understand C? Although we have seen the applications of the C, but very specific things we are going to discuss in this part. That C is a language for programmers. It was in 1970s when this language was developed, and when this language was developed, computer science was not very much advanced. So we were just developing programming language, doing more mathematical calculations. We were not into the internet age, and we were not developing solutions to the real world problems. We were just doing scientific things, and we were trying to develop software from that perspective. So because of that thing, it is complicated, little bit complicated as compared to the other programming languages, because there is no support, in the sense that things you have to do on your own. Most of the functions you have to write on your own. So you go little bit deeper to understand this programming language, to understand its syntax, and to imbibe the knowledge of programming into your mind. And that's why if you are efficient in C language, you can be efficient in any language. So that's why it requires little bit more efforts from the programmers or the software developers who are working in this domain. So C is a language, that's why it is called C is a language for the programmers. Then C is a powerful and efficient language. Powerful means because you are directly dealing with the hardware resources. Okay, you are dealing with the drivers, you are writing the drivers of the hardware. So you have more power to play with the hardware. And it is efficient because layers in between hardware and C language, that is a very thin layer. It is not a very big software layer which will do something great and then it will interact with the hardware. So that is not the part of C. And that's why C becomes very efficient for computationally intensive tasks, and it is very powerful programming language. C is structured language. Structured means that there is a specific structure to the program. You cannot start program like that as your wish. So you have to follow the rule and regulations, that you will write these things, you will write something like that, then you will follow these rules. So everything is structurally defined properly. So that's why it is also called structured language. C is standardized language, as we have discussed in the previous slide, that ANSIC, you can say the authority in the field of programming language or little computer science domain, they have standardized this language, that everybody who is using the language, they should use this standardized version. They should not customize that version according to their requirement. C provides access to low-level assembly code directly using assembler. So we discussed that it is powerful and efficient. Reason is that it provides access to the assembly code. Assembly code means a code which is written in assembly language. So we have basically machine level language, we have assembly code or assembly level language, then we have procedural languages, then we have high level languages. So C comes between high level languages and the machine level language or assembly language. And that's why it is called a high level language, but it is some sort of middle level language. Okay. Mid layer language. It is not properly high level language, because in high level languages, we consider that languages should know about the concepts of means OOPS concept, object oriented concept should be implemented in C programming language. Then only we can say that it is high level language programming. Although it interacts all the tasks other programming language can do, this can also do. C uses less memory overhead, as I discussed with you. C allows pointer access, which allow you to directly, efficiently manage your memory locations. This is the best thing about the C language, and also the worst thing. Because of the pointers, you directly access your memory locations and you can modify those memory locations. And so that is the power of the C language, which it is providing to you. But in the same way, this can be misused also, because you have so much power that which memory is to be allocated to which program, to which data structure, to which section of the program, you can handle that thing using C. And to avoid this misuse in the real world requirements of the programming and development of the software, high level languages have been used. And those languages does not provide you any access to the memory. They will give you the memory access according to your requirement. But if you try to play with the memory, then they will not allow you. So that is the limitation with high level language programming. About the pointer access, so pointer is one of the best facility available in C programming language, which is not available in other programming language. And because of this thing, C also becomes little bit in language which does not think more about the security. But if you do not take the context of security, then you can say that C language is also powerful language, because you can do lot more things which are in your control in terms of the memory management and hardware management than provided by other programming language. So from that perspective, you can see it a advantage, and you can also see it as a disadvantage. And that's why each programming language has some specific context in which that programming language works best, like that.